Heroes, gather tribute and earn my favor.
Do it!
Oh, well, hello. We're all here. We're all here, ready to go.
Well, most of us are here. Your chin seems to have arrived too.
You know, me and Scott have the same amount of facial hair. What's the problem?
Just can't stop touching my beard.
It's the first time I've seen you without facial hair in like at least 5 years. Man,
Well, you know, the more
with
things
the long
change-
hair too.
Yeah.
I thought
Oh, you're zooming in on my face. Okay.
I thought for sure Fringe was trying to hide his butt chin.
No butt chin. No butt chin.
No butt chin.
No butt
There we
chin.
go.
He's a vegan. He definitely doesn't have butt chin.
What does that mean?
Why is a butt not
What?
vegan?
I don't get
Vegan
it.
butt.
I don't get it. Maybe it's a bacon thing. I don't know.
That's a bacon thing, yeah.
Potentially.
Did he get new glasses? That's funny.
No, I did not. No new glasses. Everything else is the same.
That's what I noticed first.
Mm-hmm.
All
Me
right.
too.
All right, so welcome to the Gankbush podcast. I'm your host, Fringe Average, calling in from Portland, Oregon. For those of you listening for the first time, we are the only Heroes of the Storm explicit podcast where all the different co-hosts represent different play levels. So we have players as low as a silver type player, all the way up to a master level player. We bring you the latest HOTS news and discuss the latest tips and strategies so that you can become a better player. So let's go ahead and introduce our diamond level player. That is Bacon, who's calling in from Beaufort, Georgia.
Hey, look,
Feel
Ooh.
downgraded.
look, 6 or 7 time master. You know, I don't want to bring that into this, but yes, I'm currently Diamond 1.
Was it possible that you were almost demoted to Diamond 2, like an hour
Not
ago?
even close. No,
Not even close. You did not have
Not
an
even
emotion
close.
game, possibly.
I'm at Diamond 1 600 points, so I climbed my way back up. So,
Where were you 4 hours ago?
dude, I was in the middle of like over the course of the past week, I played like 20 Hero League games, and I went like 317 or 316. and
Yeah.
most of these games I thought I played pretty well, but obviously not well enough to carry the team. But yeah, gotta play more games and get better.
All right, let's go ahead and introduce our silver type player. That is Tyra Baron, who's calling in from San Diego, California.
Hey there, Fringe. It's good to be back in the Nexus. That's it.
Okay, let's go ahead and
Oh.
introduce our gold type player. That is Old Backpack.
Wait, who? Where? Wait, you see the crowd right there? See that thing? Right this? Right. Why gold? I feel like one bad game of Blaze. I become a gold player.
Platinum type player.
There we go. It's good to be back in the
more
Nexus.
gold type. More gold type.
Yeah.
I just want to
Too
read this
bad.
one. I just want to read this one comment. Fringe looks like a preacher that looks to go bowling after a nice solid 6 hours of praising our Lord and Savior.
That's funny because he's.
I actually think he looks like Harrison Ford in The Fugitive, where he shaves his beard so no one recognizes him, and that
Yeah.
you know, no.
Was it me? It was One Armed Man. It was
One Armed Man.
Provatsin.
You are.
That Provatsin shit.
Well, if you think I'm just as attractive as Harrison Ford, I'll take it. Even a old Harrison Ford, I'll take it. All right, let's go ahead and introduce our only master level player. That is Scott, who's calling in from San Francisco, California.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Currently, ranked higher than Bacon.
So,
Oh, it's about damn time. How many times in the past 2 years has that happened, huh, sir? Enjoy it while it
I got you
lasts.
by 1 point right now.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. He's at Diamond 1 600. I'm at Diamond 1 601.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm sure you did that on purpose, right? You're just gonna go
Yeah.
until you get one more point.
Oh, obviously.
Actually, since you guys are both in Diamond, like, are the games good for you guys in Hero League?
This is the worst season so far in terms of quality.
What about Scott?
I don't know. I mean, they're all right. Some are okay. Some. It's like when I play with like other diamond players, I do really well, and I feel like I'm better than them. But then when I play, sometimes I get thrown in the games with the master players and with the high to mid tier masters, and then I don't play as well. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm placed close to where it should be.
Well, the reason why I ask is because there was like in the middle of last season they changed the system, right? The ranking system, and I was just wondering if that's having an effect on your guys' games or not.
It seems more stable, at least I'd say.
It is more stable in that the new high diamond and low master is what Plat 1 was a couple seasons ago. It's all adjusted because if you look at Grandmaster right now, Grandmaster a couple seasons ago, if you're Grandmaster 1, you're about 5,000 to 6,000 points. Right now, if you're in Grandmaster 1 because of the personal adjustment rating, like for like 100 or 200 games, top GMs are getting, plus 30, 40 points for adjustment rating, and that really inflates their points. So if you look at Grandmaster 1 right now, let's see. Here's this.
I saw it a couple days ago, and they're at like 14,000. The personal adjustment rating for anybody who like finished above Master 1000 is like ridiculous.
The Grandmaster level 1 is 16.5 thousand. So a couple seasons ago, if you're like 78, that's solidly at rank 1, and now with the inflation, it just carries on relatively to all the other ranks. I just don't know what to do. It's just the high diamond 1 low master is just like a kind of a shit show, honestly. But I mean, that's on me to grind out of it, right?
All right. Well, there you go. All right. So we actually have a good show for you. But before we discuss that, let's get the plugs out of the way. So we stream on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you listen to us on Stitcher or iTunes, please subscribe and rate and review us. That actually helps us out a lot. If you have any friends who play the game and listen to podcasts, please spread the word about the show. If you'd like to talk with us, please go to our Discord channel. Also, we have a channel in BNet called WinTime, one word, WinTime. If you have any questions for the show, please email us at podcast@gankbushsquad.com. If you want to support us financially, please go to Patreon/GankbushSquad, and there the money pays for our hosting costs as well as getting pro-level player type guests to come on the show. If you want to watch the video, please the video of this podcast, please go to YouTube, our YouTube channel. If you go to gankbushsquad.com, you can find links to all the aforementioned content hubs of where to find our content, as well as the music that's being featured this week. And this week we are using.
Hold on. Oh, sorry.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what?
Hold.
What
What is Bacon watching?
Yeah.
But,
Was
I
it
was
better
trying
than
to,
you
I was
like-
trying to load up some Bush League stuff, and then it.
Sounds like
okay.
someone's about to get strangled over there.
Yeah.
No, wait, no. No.
Get back to the closet.
Oni-chan, stop it!
All right, so this week we're using music from Goon Hot's friend of the show. He created some music for the Bush League. I think it's gonna be played before the stream starts. I believe I could be wrong, but anyway, so we're playing that now as a teaser for the Bush League as well. So thank you to Goon for providing that. All right, so we have a good show for you. This is going to be a primarily Bush League show because we're going to do like a team fight analysis as well as an overall recap of week 1, as well as doing some draft analysis of both drafts. And we're going to do a return of the Gank Hero of the Week. We're going to do a deep dive into I almost said Gonzo for some reason, but we're going to do a deep dive into
Gonzo.
So we're gonna do a deep dive into Hanzo. Now I have Gonzo.
Muppet.
Like
the
Gonzo's like
Muppet
the
Gonzo. I'm thinking the
no,
Muppet.
Gonzo's the
The blue guy with the horn nose.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so this past Monday we had Bush League, and we had the video up on our YouTube channel. So if you want to watch the games, please go there. But so my team won.
As
Bush
it
League,
matters.
My
Yeah.
team won. I
EB
beat
squared.
Team Daz or Team 4, and then Tower Baron's team lost to Team Zexorus's team. So, but it was actually
That's
really
right.
cool.
It's all right.
We
Just first game. Still getting to know the team, learning experience.
Played like 200 games with all the guys, pretty much, except for one.
No, I'm gonna say that.
100 games then.
No.
Well, I think I have over 200 games with Loxley.
Well, you're
What?
speaking for yourself. I don't know
All
what
right.
that has to do with me.
But never mind. Anyway, we actually had a really cool first week. We had Stixa cast our games for us, but we actually had like 40 to 45 people watch the first week, and that's pretty cool. Actually, it's really high, at least for us. So that was really cool.
Fringe, do you think everyone just tuned in to see if you would lose?
Well, I think my team's the best team, so it's gonna be very hard for us to lose games. But
Wow. It's easy when you stack the teams, right?
Yeah, you do have Zunicorn.
I didn't
He's
stack
a
any
master
teams.
player.
First of all, Daz did the teams, and I said, okay, I'm cool with the teams. So Daz is the one who stacked the teams if they are stacked. But so anyway, also if you want to watch us play, we do it every Monday night at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard, 9 p.m. Eastern. And next week we're gonna have Goon Hots do the casting next week. So it's gonna be on his Twitch channel. And again, if you go to our Discord channel, you'll find links to his Twitch channel. But also, it was actually kind of cool. Like a few of you, or actually, 5 or 10 of you, came over and just hung out in the Discord and just talk shit with us in the lobby. So if you actually want to do that, because we were doing that during the first game and during the second game. So if you just want to come hang out with us and just talk shit or talk the shit with us, come by the Discord and hang out.
So I'm interested because I wasn't in that channel. I was focused on my match. But were there like bets or predictions on who would win at all on that channel, or was it just talking
think it was-
whatever?
It's just more like flaming each other in a nice way, I guess. Like, oh, what is
In a
Tower
nice
Baron doing?
way.
Like we're not mean spirited about it. We're just like, oh,
No, no,
what is
yeah,
Tower
yeah.
Baron doing? Why is he doing that? Like what the fuck? So same thing with me too. I think because like I know,
You fat
Like-
fingered at Twilight Dream. That was
Yeah,
juicy.
yeah.
I remember that.
The Bolt Dream. Like, what was this?
so but we have T-shirts available, and we have links to the or where to buy those. If you follow us on Twitter or on Discord, there's a link to it. But if you want to buy a T-shirt, you can. We have a pink salmon color, and a gray color. But 100% of the profits goes to a charity called Reach Out Worldwide, and they send out first responders that are medical staff or construction staff to natural disaster areas of the world. So if you buy a T-shirt, we make no money, and all the money goes to a good cause. So if you want to buy some swag, please go there. And
Alright,
the campaign is only active for 7 days, apparently. So I guess you only have 7 days to buy it. I don't know how this works. This is my first time doing a Teespring campaign. So you have 7 days. So,
All right, check this
but
out.
yes.
All right, here we go.
Big Sonic Arrow coming out. Lord Boo, unfortunately, a little bit short there on the stun. Will allow Zunicorn to escape. Fringe! What the hell was that, Fringe? Come on!
I did remember
Uses
that.
the- Allows Zunicorn to escape. On to the
That is
ETC. Big
great.
Sonic Arrow coming out. Lord Boo, unfortunately, a little bit short
Right
there
now.
on the stun. Will allow
it.
Zunicorn to escape.
Boo!
Classic.
Blake,
Classic
Blake,
Fringe.
Wait.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Fringe Blake.
This is for Bacon.
Yeah.
Do you have a clip of me doing the game-ending Twilight Dream on 3 members of the enemy team and winning a team fight? Do you have that?
I mean, I can find it.
Yeah, there it
Right
is.
here.
Might be this
Right
right
here,
here.
coming. Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up.
A-line does come out. Down goes the Stukov. The bunker from Blaze not going to be.
Oh, the audio goes out on Stixit for some
Yep.
reason. Twitch muted him for some reason.
Twitch muted him.
Oh, he muted
Yeah.
himself. So there's a chase
Maybe.
going on. Blue team is following friend. Oh, look at that. See, that was an actual pretty good Twilight Dream
Dream.
right there.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Ganja Goon said that, or Goon said that that was an HGC level type of play right there. So in your face.
Question for you.
Well, number
was that
one.
like,
Well, number
was
one,
that when-
Malfear. Oh, HGC
Yeah.
Malfearians aren't picking that talent, but okay.
Well, that's because it's banned. That's because it's banned. You can't play that.
How? Why?
Tomster told us that in the pre-show 5 episodes ago that talent is banned from HGC. That's why they don't take it.
What do you mean banned from HTC?
Why is it
they
banned?
used to blink?
I don't know. Tomster's told me that, and I remembered him telling me that. So that's why
The
no one ever goes it because it's
Huh.
banned.
That's weird.
I've never heard of.
I know.
a
I know they
banned
ban
talent.
like certain mounts and skins, right? But
I've never heard of that.
yeah.
Either of those things. They banned
You were
certain
all
mounts.
there on the call when he said it. You were all there.
It's got to be in the rulebook that we can confirm. But that's interesting.
Wait, what mounts or skins can't you use? I don't get
For
that.
sure.
Like the new Tyrael skins, you can't use the mech skins. You can't use the invisible horse.
They're afraid of viewers mixing up heroes and things like that.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Like you can't
Alright.
use the lunar skins for Sylvanas or something. Or
Oh yeah, it looks like a human.
All right, but anyway, let's so Tarabaron, let's get this off you. Let's let you go now, because you've been waiting a few days to.
I'm not.
How do you feel about your team's performance in the first week of Bush League?
Well, this I'd like to say that it wasn't our complete team. Before the drafts, even during the coin flip, we were still waiting for our tank player, our second best player, to show up. Spoke with him later that day. He showed up 3 hours later. On is like, okay, I'm ready to play. And I'm like, it's 9 o'clock Pacific, and yeah, they're not starting on East Coast at midnight. So yeah, that was threw a big wrench in our plans, since we did scrim a little bit the week before, and we had him as our primary shot caller and main tank. And at the coin toss, we had to find someone to swap in for him. We wanted Bacon, actually, because Bacon's diamond, and our tank player was plat. So that was kind of shut down by, I don't know who actually disagreed with it. I think it was, I don't know if it was people from the other team, but it was just people who were else in that chat. We ended up going with Grizzly, who played in Fringe's team, playing a completely different role. It didn't go so well, I think, in terms of our team composition. I think about it. But yeah, that was a big issue we had, I guess, like before the match even started. I guess we let that get to us as well, saying like, well, we're not really going to have the team that we were expecting to have. Other than that, I think we put a little bit too much emphasis on trying to get a one trick type of comp going with the garage, and I would redo that if I could. Playing as the team captain is a lot more responsibility than I was expecting. Then I was just expecting just to come and play, just fill in, and like I'll let the better players do all the work. But it's actually
You're expecting to do what you do on the podcast of just show up and say I'm ready to go.
it's
Not
like, hey,
just
I'm the
that.
team captain. I'm here. Points, please. Points, please.
Yeah. All right. So who did all the homework for drafts and role decisions and stuff? I'm just here to take credit for the victories.
No,
I do the post game interview. I'm the captain.
Well, I mean, I actually ended up doing a lot more work than I think anyone else
Scott's so
on the
salty.
team did.
Yeah.
I don't know why Scott's salty, but
I'm not salty. I just think it's funny that you were like, "Oh man, being a team captain requires work."
well, I didn't expect it. I didn't say work, just as much work as I thought it would take, as it is taking. Because I think a part of the team captain position, I realize, is not just telling everyone what to do or what we should do. It's sort of being, because everyone has their own opinions, right? And then you have to kind of say, well, I don't think that's not in the best interest of the team. You can't just kind of go with everyone's opinion on everything. Because in this game, actually, I wanted to ban Maev because I saw that their best player had played the last 20, 30 games with that character. But I got kind of coerced into just banning Phoenix. I mean, although Phoenix is a strong character right now, I don't think anyone on that team has really practiced him. And
Oh, you don't need to be good with him to be good at Phoenix. You just play Phoenix.
But I feel with Phoenix, he's a sustained damage. He doesn't really have the playmaking ability as much as Maev.
You are
Phoenix.
crazy.
I mean,
He
I
is
think-
worse than Maev when Maev was at her best.
well, no.
Yes, I think so. I honestly
Their best
think so.
player had been playing that Maev past 30 games
Yeah, that is true.
versus a Phoenix that no one even gets to play. I mean, I own Phoenix. I haven't even been able to get an unranked draft game with him. So, I mean, I think everyone owns Phoenix, but they can't really practice him outside a quick match or something. So,
I mean, I think
I
it
would
just
favor
does
that.
also kind of go into like all of us are friendly to each other, but we also have like our competitive edge and competitive personality to all this, and it kind of does go into play when you're doing drafting and shot calling and all that. And like personally, like I if we're in the game and something needs to happen and there's like disagreement within the shot call, I'm just like, I kind of just throw my E-pin around at everyone's face and like, I'm the fucking master player. Let's just do this and win the game. They're like, I kind of
I mean,
bully.
Yeah.
I use my street cred from being a master player to kind of force things to happen.
That's-
And it's kind of like, you guys are all nice and good players, but also I bet that E-pin does have a small factor in your guys' decision making.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was also, you could tell it looked like there was no shot calling during that game, and there wasn't. And I guess as the leader, I should have reiterated, like assigned roles to more of my team. Like, you guys are the main tank, second best player on the team. You're the shot caller. So when we scrim, like, you have to either give out the macro shot calls or the micro shot calls, micro being who to focus in the actual fight. So I've done that since. I think, it's the first game to loss. It gives us a lot of stuff to work on. So it shows us our weaknesses, and the weaknesses are actually what I determined a week earlier, but we ended up going with the comp that just ended up reiterating those weaknesses. Like I said earlier, that we're going to get destroyed if we just try to poke and wait out for a special opportunity. And I think we played very passive as well, looking back at the game. We sort
but
of
also
wait for them to come to us.
To make it feel better, the Zexus team completely won the draft, so I mean,
Yeah.
there's that.
Well, actually, no. Actually, we're actually going to do the draft analysis later.
Yeah,
Some people,
I'm
some
just
people that
saying
I've
in
spoken
terms of-
to.
in
Well, no.
terms
Some
of the
people
game.
disagree. Some people think that Tower Baron's team won the draft. So we're actually going to do that a little bit later in the show.
Really? I think
No. Yeah, again, we'll discuss it because
Yeah,
I've talked
okay.
to people that are very smart in win time that thought that Tower Baron's team had won the draft.
I mean,
so,
was
um,
that Goon?
I will not say anything yet. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Stay to
eventually.
the end of the show.
Yeah.
Get that
But,
information.
Okay.
I did not talk to Goon about but there's other people in win time that said that Tower Baron's team was better on paper. Anyway,
It
So,
is-
But
It is also interesting that when we watch HGC and the casters kind of force storylines onto us, like they're trying to craft the story throughout the event, and the same thing is kind of happening naturally in the Bush League right now, because we have like, oh, this team is not good as is not going to be that good because they're working with a sub. So how's that sub going to play into this game? And it seems like those storylines are just creeping up naturally, and it's kind of fun to follow along.
Yeah, it was honestly
and
after the coin
Zex is
flip.
like painting himself as the #1 villain in Bush League for no reason, but that's also fun too.
Because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really
It's
see him as a
awesome.
villain. How is he a villain? I don't.
You know what FTBRG stands for? Zex's team's name?
No, I don't know.
I looked it up.
Fuck that butt real good. That's what the team name means.
Zetsurus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't ban Diablo. Just bent over that game.
And I think they did ban Diablo that game.
Ender Wiggin was like, why is there so much salt from Tower Baron?
So much salt. There's no salt. I'm just explaining the situation, and it's a learning experience for the team. So now that we have a fairly pretty bad loss, I mean, honestly, this game was probably the worst game I'd played in a month, to be honest. But then again, the whole situation, like with this whole Bush League, is different than any other game I've played, really, because you do know the team, and you're playing with a set people on your team that have certain strengths and weaknesses, and you're trying to craft out a certain composition and all the other stuff that goes with it. I think you can also overthink it a little bit. I mean, maybe overthought it a little bit.
All right, so let's hear the thoughts of a winner. So
My thoughts.
Wait. The teams.
So what I'll say is that the game that we played, even if we lost, it was probably the most fun I've ever had playing the game, because it's even different than Team League, because you know your opponents ahead of time. You know who you're playing against, so it actually adds a lot more dimensions to the drafting process, because now you don't have to worry about who's in the meta or not. You have to worry about who does Daz play, who does Schizo play, who does Liquid play.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out, okay, they drafted Jaina. Who's playing the Jaina? Well, it could be either him or him. And to me, that was the most fun about the entire thing. And I don't know. I don't know. I had a lot of fun. My team did really well together. I did a lot of homework beforehand. So when we met maybe 20 minutes before the draft, and then we just talked about, okay, if they do this, what do we do? And so we were kind of prepared. I took Hero Physio's advice, where you plan ahead and then you don't really make the big decisions during the draft. Like, you've already planned that out. So yep. Anyway, it was really cool. I had a good time, and I look forward to beating Team Zex. I'm not really. I talked to him today. I'm not really worried about his team. I was kind of worried about him after I saw what happened to Tower Baron's team, but I'm not really worried about Zex's team anymore. I think it should be pretty easy, as long as we play our game properly. But yeah.
And also, when you were playing, was there a lot of communication during the actual game while you were playing?
So what we did was we had a team meeting a week before the first game, and we decided who the shot caller was going to be. And then right before, during the loading screen, you see the 5 members of each team. I reiterated to everyone on the team that Zuni is the main shot caller, and then in the 4-man we're gonna have Grizzly be the shot caller. And then, but I reiterated. Last thing I said to them was Zuni is the ultimate shot caller, and everyone didn't say anything, and that's pretty much how the game went. Because Zuni was the offlaner. Right. Mm-hmm. So when we needed him to shot call as a 5-man, he shot called, but in the 4-man, we had Grizzly doing most of it. And it's pretty cool. And then it's really cool to have a tank player and the other assassin just be cool with that, and just letting the shot callers do what they want to do. And
yeah,
there were some arguments. There's one team fight at the end when we were 19.5, and Daz's team was at 17.5, and they invaded on our friendly siege camp. And I said, no, we're not fighting this. We don't have 20s yet. And someone on the team was like, no. I was like, no, we're not fighting them. We backed out. They got the camp, and we just cleared it in 2 seconds, and then we fought them a minute later, and we won the game because we had 20s and they didn't.
Actually, I believe you lost in this fight in bottom.
No.
Yeah, that was the Twilight Dream retreat.
No.
Yeah,
that was
the
after.
Twilight Dream retreat. I like that. The T-Dream retreat.
Twilight Dream treat.
Yeah.
Goon says, all I gotta say is ban Fringe's Malfurion.
No, ban the heroic.
Yeah. So, almost forgot. So what we're also going to be doing Sunday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Me and Ganjigoon, or me and Goon are going to do. Well, actually, sorry, Goon is going to do all the replay. I'm just going to show up and talk, but he's going to do a review of the first game. It's going to be reviewing the game from just an overall strategy point of view. So we're going to talk about drafting, as well as what should Team A have done in this situation, what should Team B have done. So it's not going to be like a personal replay just for me. It's going to be for like everyone involved in the game. So if you want to come and increase your knowledge base, stop by Goon's Twitch on Sunday night at at 6 p.m. Pacific. So it's going to be really fun. Like he did a replay review last week with a win timer, and I think it's going to be really cool. So if you want to stop by, and the video will be up on his Twitch and probably hopefully on his YouTube. So if you can't show up, please watch the video.
All
Yep.
right.
Okay.
I'm also
All right,
offering coaching for.
You are?
Okay. I mean, I did it in. I sent it out in Discord today, but for those who want to kind of do the same thing that Goon does, but I mean, I'm basically offering the same services that Goon is. So
Wait,
Well,
are
no,
you
no.
undercutting Goon?
No, no,
right
no,
now?
wait. First of all, what Goon is going to be doing Sunday is he's just going to look at the actual, overall, like yesterday, Bacon did a review with the Li Ming player for Zex's team,
blood.
and he just reviewed Li Ming. That was it. He didn't care what, Malfurion did or whatever. He just looked at Li Ming. What we're gonna do, I think, with Goon is that he's gonna say this is a rotation that should have happened on this team, and this is why, and stuff like that. So it's gonna be more just overall learning.
There's 20, 30 players in the Bush League here and there, so there's plenty of coaching to go around. It's not undercutting anybody.
Okay.
It's all we're all learning together, right? Right,
Yes.
Goon? And he says,
But
I
learn from
don't
me."
offer ass eating in my coaching sessions. I will offer ass eating if I will one up Goon Hots in that ass eating contest. But yeah, I already have a couple people asking for coaching, and it's gonna be 1-on-1, and it's gonna be fun, and try to get better.
Yeah, so I'm reading chat here. Ender Wiggins says, I didn't realize Fringe was reading everyone's match history. Well, yeah, fuck yeah, I was, because I have to prepare for
course.
drafts. Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I did
You
too.
guys didn't
Yeah.
see it, but he had like a whole like data sheet on who was playing, who's had the most played heroes of the different characters, who played who last week. Oh, he was like super prepared.
Well, I didn't
Yes.
take it to that level. I just look at their two best
Yeah.
players and see who they're
Like,
playing. But
Like I have a like a Caldor Gillyweed notebook with like team comps and stuff like that, like ready to go. So like I had it all prepared for Daz's team.
Nice.
So
I like it.
yeah, like I'm not going to let my team down. I'm not doing any without doing the hard work. So
As someone with
team captain.
experience doing a lot of spreadsheets for certain creators of the Storm tournament, it also matters that you actually play and practice the heroes you're gonna pick. So keep that in mind. And with
Yeah.
that, I'll offer my coaching services if you want to get better at that side of the game. Yeah.
yeah, no, actually, Bacon did
Hit
a
me
good
up on
job
Discord.
yesterday.
Private message me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Goon.
he did a good job with, was it Blood Scythe?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, so it was a good Li Ming replay and some Volskaya map, like Genji replay, I think too. But
Yeah.
it was good. So
so Fringe, I mean, are you gonna change anything for next week's game, or is it just gonna be we won? Let's do the same thing.
well, how I work is that obviously everyone on the team is smarter than me, or okay, they're better mechanically than me. They're probably smarter than me. So I just do all the hard work and I just tell them my thoughts on this is what this player is playing, and then I let them kind of say, "Oh, we should go for this comp," and then we discuss it, and then we roll with it. But I'm not surprised. Like for example, like if I'm playing against a Maiev, I'm not drafting your draft. It's going to be the complete opposite of your draft. We'll put it that way, because I will not allow to get out drafted. Like that's not happening with me. So, but yeah. But sorry, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if like you guys
Yeah,
actually
so-
were gonna. Okay.
I think I theory craft. This is the funnest part because I think about like how does my team compare against that team,
Yeah.
and what are the strengths do we have, or what are the weaknesses, and try to play down the weaknesses and play up the strengths, and then how that applies to the maps that we want to play on, and how that applies to the team comps we want to have. Because I know, from my point of view, our team revolves around the assassins that we have, right? So we have to figure out what gels well together. Kind of what Tomstrom said in our show, that like, you don't want to go like, Malthael Zarya because there's no synergy there, right? So, for example, if player A loves playing Murky, then we'll draft a team that complements Murky, So that's why when we do drafts, like I've already thought of how we're going to, if we go this one character, that we're going to build a team around it to make sure that it all flows well. So, but yeah, so it's actually, that's the most fun part about it. I don't care about playing. I actually just like the theory crafting involved, actually. I would actually love it if I was just a coach and I was just doing what Hero Physio does, just like theory crafting everything, and just let them decide what they want, and then. But
Is that Physio does? Here's some ideas, guys. Go away with those.
I talked to Hero Physio last night. What he does, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he kind of
giving away his secrets.
No. He just talks about, like, he tells the team, okay, if they're going this, I think he worries more about like counter picks and like how does that work. If they went Garrosh, don't pick, Lily type of stuff.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, he also stresses in the draft forcing reactions in the draft so you can take control of what they pick based on your picks too and bans, and not just picking for your team but also trying to see how your drafting forces their draft. Like, and simple thing is you draft a healer early, you ban a healer, and then they're forced to like pick up the scraps. That's a really simplified way to force a team to draft a certain way, but yeah, that at the HGC level.
Yeah, and also what's actually kind of cool is that having to do this theory crafting stuff actually increases your knowledge base, because you actually have to think about the game in a completely different way. You have to think about, what does this character do? Oh, okay, this character is really good at this. What map does that fit in? Okay, we should run this map. This is the map that we should run this team comp on. And it's actually really fun, because if you're playing Team League, you're just thinking about, like, okay, who's in the meta? Okay, Maiev is in the meta. Phoenix is in the meta. Tracer's in the meta. All right, just ban those, and you just go from there. But like, if you actually know your opponent, you actually think about another level. So, yeah. I don't know. Okay. Wow. The people who are not participating in the Bush League are very bored right now. All right. So we actually got a couple questions. Or we got a question from Goon Hots. He asks, if Bush League takes off, what would be the primary focus as far as the content is concerned? Would it be entertainment, education, tryhard, fake WWE storylines?
Edutainment.
Edutainment.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I don't know. It's actually up to the players, whatever they want. So I've always called it more like a beer league, because someone on my team was drinking beer during the game, and someone on Zex's team was flying a kite. I'll say that during their game. So yeah. So I don't know. It's up to I think we'll let the participants decide what happens with the Bush League if there is another season. So, but
I think once we can do a lot more things if we have more than 4 teams. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So we actually got there are, in the last 36 hours, actually, sorry, in the last 72 hours, I actually got between 7 and 10 people that wanted to participate in the league.
Jeez.
And I had to turn them away because I said we already have a league set up. So, but if there's another season, we will include you. So we actually got a lot of people that wanted to play. So maybe next season, we do 6 teams or 7 teams. But let's just see how the first season goes, and then we'll go from there. So, yep. All right. All right. So Bacon wanted to talk about Bacon's random, the more you know about minions.
Yeah. So I don't. This might be common knowledge for some, but not for others. So I'll just go ahead and say it. So a minion wave consists of 3 melee minions, 1 mage minion that obviously drops the globe, and 3 archer minions, and they all do a base damage, and then do bonus damage versus other minions and structures. But obviously, I want people to know that versus other minions, the footman minion, the warrior minions, do 5 damage towards other minions, and they scale by minutes instead of levels. So at level minute 5 minion does less damage than a level 15 minute minion. So the footman minion does 5 damage versus other minions, but an archer does 74 damage against other minions.
Shit
So
tons
that
more,
is
essentially.
A shit tons more. A lot
But
more.
they're weaker though, isn't their health less?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and against structures, footman does 62 damage at minute 5 versus structures, and the archers do 124. So they do double damage versus footmen versus structures. So if you want to push out the wave and keep as many minions alive as possible, kill the archer minions first always, and then wizard, and then the footman, because the footman does almost 0 damage. The footman does against other minions 5 damage, and other footmen at minute 5 has 1030 health. So think about how
It's a
small.
weird number.
Yeah. So keep that in mind.
How much damage does the wizard minion do?
Wizard
as the
minion
archers?
at level 5 versus other minions 38 versus structures 57.
Oh shit.
So
Goon
the
says
archers.
Goon said in chat that there should be a Bush League Crucible.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be hilarious.
Goodbye, Tower Barons.
Yeah, like
Well,
worst
actually, Fringe's team is the Tower Barons.
and
I
we would
know,
have it
TB
so that
squared.
whoever loses the Crucible, the team captain is banned for the next season of Bush League.
Banned?
We don't want to
That'd be-
punish the win timers or the listeners, but we
That's
we
not fair either
definitely
because
punish
I don't
the team
decide
captain.
my teammates as well. I mean, my teammates were assigned to me. That's
Oh,
not-
you blame your teammates. I see.
That's not fair.
Nice.
Where's
Yeah,
your
it's
leader?
Very,
I mean, it's not
really
fair to the
cute
leaders. The
captain.
leader just gets assigned people. So there could be some conspiracies out there to
True
keep
sign
certain-
of a leader.
Yeah, this is
No
Mr.
responsibility.
Mr. Wells. This is hard to be a
Those
leader.
just get better as the show goes on.
Maybe that does have some WWE drama to it.
Oh gosh. All right. So, did you finish your point, Bacon? You good?
Yeah, just
What?
kill archer minions first if you want to push the lane, obviously, and then
Exactly.
wizard, and then footman. And
Okay.
the more you know.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't know that. Fringe might not
Did you guys hear
appreciate
that?
it, but I do.
Yeah, I heard that.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
no.
Oh,
too.
okay.
No, I went to the bathroom and I just wanted to make sure that the point was made. That's all.
I just knew
You
that
could
the
you could
archers
benefit
would
from
be
this,
there.
Fringe.
You
I heard
could.
no. I heard what you said. Kill the
Oh, okay.
archers first, then the wizard. I understand.
Yeah.
Because you play
you know
Sonya
why?
a lot.
All right. so
Versus
let-
other
let's-
minions, archers literally do 25 times more damage than footmen. So that's the gist of it.
25-fold more. Shit tons.
So if you're playing Dahaka, Sonya, Leoric, like focus those. Leoric, I think, can hit most of the wave anyway with his swipe, but
Now that
All right.
this only applies if you're trying to push the lane. If you're holding the lane, it doesn't really matter. Just don't kill any minions, obviously, and let it push towards you on your side. But if you want to kill structures and focus towers, then yeah, that's the way to go.
Okay, let's move on to the draft analysis. So we'll, like I said, we're gonna do both games, and we're gonna review what you guys think of the drafts. What the hell was that?
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Just call from inside the house.
Okay. All right, so this is
The
the first
killer's
game.
inside the house.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the first game of the Bush League. So this is Dragonshire, and the blue team has Maev, Lucio, Johanna, Alarak, and Li Ming. Actually, this is the second game.
Yeah.
I apologize. This is the
this is
entire
the,
parent game. So again,
Which-
so it's Maev, Lucio, Johanna, Alarak, and Li Ming on Dragonshire, and the opposing team, the red team, has Thrall, Malfurion, Garrosh, and Hanzo. Again, Thrall, Malfurion, Garrosh, and Hanzo. What should the fifth pick be? Let's go to Scott.
First, I'd just like to add that Phoenix is banned. Right. So, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
It's sad that we have to say that for every draft analysis. Hurry up, Blizzard, fucking nerf him already. Jesus Christ.
yeah. Yeah, he's ridiculous right now. But with the Maev on the other team, you got Li Ming, Alarak, Joanna, Lucio. Maev and Joanna both pull people in. Alarak has a silence, which can benefit from that. Li Ming has her damage that can benefit from that as well. So I think something that could help mitigate Maev's abilities in particular would be useful. So I would say Blaze or Tyrael would be strong picks. Especially Blaze can solo lane really well.
Mhm.
What
So
does Old Backpack think?
Same thing. All right, so that team is based around the Warden stage, and you want to get someone you want zone control in order to control the area around the Warden stage and the poles. And Tyrael is probably the best one at that. If she Umbral binds Tyrael, he warps back out. If he puts Warden cage, he puts Sanctification, and that's what you need. I could say also Blaze for the same idea that he drops the Warden cage, you go in the bunker. You need somebody to protect your backline from that really hard engage. So I'd say those two. Also, both of them solo better than, well, Thrall. Well, sorry, not Tyrael, but the Blaze will solo versus Thrall really well. Sorry, the Blaze will solo versus the Alarak really well.
Jesus Christ.
Alarak.
You
Words
guys-
are hard.
Platinum,
Um,
huh? Hold
So
on to that
I
platinum.
think the Maev Johanna combo is pretty freaking strong, and you could argue, oh, Johanna has a hard time getting her W's on players. Well, they have the Lucio for that, for the movement speed bonus, and Johanna drags people in, and Maev has her blades that benefits from
Further
multiple
drag.
targets and the resets, and you can use Warden's Cage on top of that. And Alarak also benefits out of Johanna's W because he gets easy combos off because of it. And Li Ming also benefits out of Johanna's. Do you see a theme here?
Also,
There is a
all of them
great-
pull. It's like pull in the pole.
Yeah, it's not an HGC level comp, but it is very nicely drafted for the level that we play at, and it would definitely work in a game like this. And honestly, with Garrosh, you have to basically have perfect Garrosh ganks for the entirety of the game, and Thrall needs to dominate his solo lane for a chance at winning this game, in my opinion. I would say Tyrael, another tank, is pretty good to help disrupt their dive and help disrupt Johanna. And I agree with what the others said so far.
So, Scott, I have a question for you. So, they first, the blue team first picked Maev, and the red team picked Malfurion and Garrosh. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a solid pick. I mean,
Hmm?
Garrosh and Malfurion, work pretty well together.
Yeah, it's like
Garrosh can peel as well. You could throw out anybody who's trying to dive the back line. He if you watch HGC, I mean, he's one of the best tanks right now. His crowd control seems ridiculous, as well as his survivability. So I don't see a problem with those picks.
Yeah, also, the Into the Fray will pull someone out of the Umbral Bind because you're unstoppable as you fly through it.
Say that again.
The Into the Fray for Garrosh will break someone's Umbral Bind that may have put on them because you fly through it as you're unstoppable.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I would say,
yeah, go for it, Scott.
I would say about the draft, you could go a different direction than what we said about picking another tank, where you could pick a long range character who's not going to be getting trapped by Maiev. Hanzo shouldn't really be getting trapped, but also you get somebody like a Junkrat, who his mind provides pretty good disruption for when all three of their melee characters try and go in on whoever gets targeted. I think that would be a solid pick as well.
I think if I agree with Scott, like, because in my notes I said if the opposing team gets Maiev, we need to go Junkrat because he's like has the best disengage that Maiev wants to do. It played properly, obviously, right? So, I think Stukov is a better support for the red team because if she drops the Warden's Cage, you just throw the silence inside the Warden's Cage, and that kind of negates all of the damage.
Yeah, that's true. Stukov is a good pairing with Maiev or against Maiev.
Yeah, so like if
you
I
could
was
also
drafting,
have that bait him into a taunt combo inside the lurking arm. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if I see Maiev, I'm first picking Stukov immediately because if someone's in that Warden's Cage, that silence is going to negate a lot of damage. So,
it's very possible you will see Maiev next week.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not playing against you, so I don't give a shit. But
I mean, you're playing against this team, right?
Well, like if they go, like I said, I already have my team comp ready to go. If they go Maiev, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna allow them to do what happened to you. I will not allow it.
You will not allow
yeah.
it.
No, I already have
You
a team
shall
comp
not
written down
pass.
Yep.
that we can employ. I already have all of our counters ready to go. So if they want to do that bullshit, I will stop it.
Oh,
So Fringe, you say this is Sparta. Oh wait, you can't.
Yeah,
Your beard's
I can't
gone.
do that anymore. So, no, I'm prepared for Maiev. I have not. I'm like, Maiev is good, but I'm not really worried about it because I already have the team comp ready to go to stop it. So,
Also, for
But,
those
anyway.
audio listeners who want an image for the draft so they can kind of visualize and see what we're talking about, we will have the draft analysis images in the podcast feed section, I
Nice.
guess.
yeah, we'll have those up, and we'll use those as the thumbnail for the YouTube clip as well.
Ah.
All right, so
what does everyone think about? I was thinking Ragnaros maybe going
No.
off of his E
Nope.
build.
He's gonna get wrecked.
He's gonna get fucked.
Really?
Yeah, he's gonna
That's
get BFRT, whatever it was called.
that's a bad idea, man.
Yeah,
Don't do
that is
that.
one of the worst picks you can do into that comp.
Really? 'Cause I thought you were
Yep.
saying baiting into the Warden's Cage, assuming he's not caught in it. He could E.
How
target?
do you survive with a Malfurion against that comp?
I was just thinking maybe that is you can kind of bait out their dive and kill them before.
See, The thing is that when you have a Maiev, right? If you give them Maiev, you need to find a way to survive the Warden's Cage, right? That's your
Yeah.
ultimate, and that's why they're Scott and Bacon and old Backpacker saying Tyrael because you can survive after the Warden's Cage is popped.
Yeah, I actually wrote down Tyrael and Ragnaros. I was just bringing up Ragnaros. I do think Tyrael is the best because of the sanctification.
Mhm.
Maybe even Muradin with like fucking the punch ability. Just
Yeah.
anything to disrupt their dive.
Scott just got
Yeah.
a boner.
Like just
Yeah,
punch out
pretty
Maiev.
much.
What are they fucking gonna do? Right?
Well, I mean, there are two counters to Maev's like post 10. That's Malfurion's Twilight Dream and the Sundering from Thrall are possibilities as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, you have to properly bait all those things, though.
yeah, and what do you guys think about Falstad too? Is classic pick for Dragonshire,
That works.
global, the gust to disengage.
That's better than the Ragnaros.
No.
I think he's a little squishy.
He is.
Yeah.
I think you go false out if you're not confident you can win team fights.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
basically not planning on team fighting at that point.
You're just trying to out macro with your global. And if you are going false, you need to go Dahaka and just global the shit out of them. That's how you do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, just play around him. Don't
Yeah.
never have a team fight. Just always say nope, just out and leave.
Yeah.
That actually was a big consideration, I think, considering how the team fights went.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would only just delay your loss because there's a cooldown of a pretty hefty cooldown with Gust, right? So,
Yeah.
but
Also
again,
on
if you want,
Dragon
if
Shard.
you want, yeah, if you want Falstad, you need to go to Haka and just macro them.
But also remember that Dragon Shard, the map gets smaller as you push deeper into them, so the macroing gets less important. You can't split push top with a false stat safely.
And also, it's actually good if you go to Haka and Falstad. If you lose team fights, you can just fly up to the opposing end of the.
Yeah.
And then you can stall out the, the objective. So, but I think if you go Falstad, you're playing not to win though.
Yeah, and one more comment on this map. This is, I found out, one of the most coordination heavy maps, like of all the maps.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I don't
again,
know.
Yeah, there's a lot of rotations.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why you chose it. You chose it, right, Tarbin?
we all discussed as a team when we got the coin flip to pick map. I was
Yeah.
like, what does everyone think? We were like, let's do Dragonshire.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
guys-
one person didn't speak up and said, and later told me that Dragonshire was the worst map for them. I was like, oh, okay. So,
I think you guys should have just
Communication
went
thing.
Battlefield of Eternity and just fought them.
hint,
Use your,
hint. I've made a list of
Yeah.
only 3 maps that we're going to be allowed to play when playing the next few weeks.
Yeah, like
And
you guys
Battlefield
have
of
games.
Eternity is one of
yeah.
those.
Yeah,
along
yeah,
with Spider Queen and
hmm
another one. But yeah.
Small maps with no rotations.
no rotations, no possibility for people getting confused.
All right, but anyway, for those of you counting at home, it's they went Varian.
Varian, yeah, that was a weird pick.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Varian.
No.
I think the Varian went Twin Blades, which
No, you went C Smash.
Yeah,
Did
it
he?
was Smash.
C Smash.
That's not too bad. You can try and blow somebody up.
I think also if you do go Varian, then the red team has to play very aggressively. I think, like they can't. As what happened in this game is that, like, there was a little bit of, I guess, too passive play, and we kind of let them decide when to attack us a little bit. So I guess if you go Varian, you have to kind of take the initiative a little bit more.
Well, the problem is that you have no focus damage for a C Smash target. Like you have Hanzo who scatters. You
Yeah,
have Thrall who does bolts. Like there's not a very good lean main follow up for a C Smash target.
true. That's how I planned out. But I think it's
Hanzo
better than
went-
the alternative.
Hanzo went Dragon Era, right?
Yeah.
What about Dragon Strike for when they die? again and lose
That wouldn't be so
games?
bad. No, it would not be bad. That's zone control. That's what
Right?
red team needs. Yeah.
Lucio just ults and cancels all that damage.
True.
Yeah, but you traded an ultimate though. So they just
Yeah,
bounced
but
each
you
other
trade
out.
an ultimate for an ultimate.
Yeah, I know,
It-
I know.
The shield would get eaten up pretty quick, in my opinion. And then you have Thrall's ultimate to help follow up with that. I don't know. Maybe it's just an idea I'm throwing out there.
What if you sunder them out of the Dragon of a strike? Right? Just put them away.
Do you guys think that Garrosh is a good pick for Dragonshire? I think it's like one of his worst maps. But what do you guys think about Garrosh in general on Dragonshire?
What's funny is that we had another map choice, and then it was no, that's a bad map for Garrosh, and then we picked Dragonshire.
Yeah, but what do you guys think? Am I wrong? Like, is
That's good.
Garrosh
I
good
think- I
on
think it-
Dragonshire?
I think it's one of his better maps because I think the forts and stuff they're up a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's
I
not
think
bad.
good. I mean, it's
And
great.
these tosses, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
hopefully
as
it-
long as like the map gets more cleared in terms of the forts and stuff and all the cannonballs and whatever, like he's not as good. I think.
The map is so bush heavy. It's easy to get value
Different.
out of that.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah. So anyway, so the red team, the one with Varian, Garrosh, Hanzo, and Malfurion and Thrall lost. So there you go. All right. So let's move on to the other draft, which also took place on Dragonshire. That was the first game. That was so the blue team, or the red team.
Oh. That transition was awesome.
What?
Yeah. See the bicep?
That's funny. That was
I
good.
spent a good 30 minutes on that, 45 minutes on that one.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I
There you
Oh,
go.
there it is.
Oh,
I
boom.
appreciate that.
All right, so the red team.
Wait. You guys realize how like of a phallic that gun looked when I put right next to his hip? You notice that?
I didn't notice that because I wasn't looking there.
Yeah. I
I
didn't realize
noticed
there was
that.
a big, phallic structure in front of his waist.
What did that?
Okay, yeah, now I see it. Once you point that out.
That was gross.
That does look kind of gross.
Look, his Manthon
Oh,
does
it's-
all the
it's
talking.
orange,
He
too.
doesn't need the big gun.
It has that very weird perspective where it's larger in the front part of the screen.
Yeah.
So it's like it's coming out at you.
It's all imposing.
The imposing presence.
Yeah, that's a little bit bigger than a minigun.
Bigger they are.
The bigger they are.
All right, so we are back on Dragonshire, and the red team has Greymane, ETC, Medivh, Malfurion, and Leoric. Greymane, ETC, Medivh, Malfurion, and Leoric. And the blue team has Garrosh, Stukov, Hanzo, Blaze. Garrosh, Stukov, Hanzo, Blaze. So if you are the blue team, what is your last pick? So let's go to Old Backpack.
Wow. So that red team is very damage light. You're gonna have really long sustained team fights. So you want someone who does sustained damage. I would say like Titus.
That's who I picked as well. I wrote down Tychus,
Well, I mean, you just need sustained damage, and he's really good at that.
especially on those targets.
Yeah, you also want to interrupt for the mosh pit, which is also there for you. Yeah, also Titus has pretty good follow-up burst to the Garrosh tossed. You turn your minigun, you burn someone down. And also that you have Blaze there to protect the Titus if he gets dove on. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
All right,
that's exactly what I
what-
went for too.
Okay. Well, what do you think?
Same
Scott?
reasons.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. You want sustained damage. They have a Medivh, so burst damage, Medivh can cancel it. One of the picks that sticks out to me is I like Junkrat, particularly because he can put down mines to on the portals to stop them from retreating. You could also go something else like a Genji, where they use the portals to escape, and Genji can chase and follow up on those low health targets that are trying to escape at minimal life through the portals. So those are my top two picks, probably.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah,
Yep.
Hey, one second. My audio got all screwed up. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
yeah, you
You
sound
sound
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does it sound better now?
Nope.
No, it's
No,
still
you
the
still
same.
sound bad to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's as fuzzy as your beard.
Hmm.
What beard?
Yeah. No. I just I clicked on one thing on my browser. Is it better now?
And it's
No, it's
I
still
wonder
really.
what you clicked.
No, still sounds
Alright,
bad.
Where did you click?
I went to YouTube actually because I wanted to figure out what the fifth pick was, and I forgot.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, you were on the fifth pick. It was Daz's pick.
Yep.
All right. So our guy who's recording hung up. Nice.
So. There he is.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Whoa.
Nope.
No.
You were not bad,
All
sir.
right, you
You're
sound
there,
good
but
now.
Yeah.
Am I sound good?
Better. Yeah, better.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
sound better.
Good.
yeah.
All right. Good.
All right.
All right. Anyway, so, where were we?
Do we have any other picks?
Did
We
you
were-
hear my picks or no?
No, I did not hear
No.
your picks.
You said Junkrat and
I said
Tychus.
Junkrat or Genji were my two picks.
Is the Junkrat to counter Medivh?
Yeah, you can counter the escapes of people who jump out of the portals, and he also has good poke. You're probably gonna want, with the comp you have of Garrosh, Stukov, Hanzo, and Blaze. I think you want another range, and he provides solid range DPS.
Gul'dan.
as well.
And, yeah, and wave clear too.
Yeah,
Does that
yeah.
as well.
I thought of Gul'dan earlier too. Yeah.
Horrify the portals.
Yep.
Lunara?
Okay.
Not bad.
Sustain. You get leap to escape any entombs or things like that. Get out of tricky situations with leap. And you get the sustained damage value. And if Garrosh
yeah.
does a good job of throwing people away from Lunara for those peels. But I like Gul'dan better in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Lunara is going to be that strong against that comp.
Yeah. Also brings the wave clear because Garage is so shitty at that, and so is Stewie.
What about? No, never mind. Not Chromie. I was thinking.
I
about
was thinking
No.
Chromie for a second.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's bad.
Yeah. The Gul'dan.
Like, Liu Ming's
Horrify's too
okay.
good. What about Phoenix?
Oh, Phoenix.
Of course. Yeah.
He's got to
Phoenix
be
works
banned,
everything.
right? I mean,
Yeah, no, Phoenix was banned for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
All right. Well,
Phoenix.
so the pick was Jaina.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
not terrible.
infamous pick. Well, no, did you hear what Scott said? He said Medivh is going to be there to cancel out any burst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaina's
Yeah,
so rotation based and cooldown based, and if
Yeah.
the Medivh was smart at all, then you would wait until she unloaded her spells and popped the
Well,
W.
if Jaina goes water elemental, it's not bad.
Yeah, but
yeah, but you can usually negate maybe 2 blizzard waves in a cone of cold
Yeah.
with a Medivh shield, which
It-
is a lot of damage.
What about Nazebo for the blue team?
Not
Why?
bad. Not
Why?
terrible.
Well, I was
Because
thinking that
Zebo,
he has a good poke. He could solo lane this. I think this is going to be a long game, considering the enemy team, the red team's comp. Nazebo's going to scale well at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I think it's
Also,
a good
you-
solo laner too.
you forgot zombie wall the portal.
Oh yeah, zombie wall the portal.
Yeah. That's terrible.
yeah, I agree with Goonhots. Nazebo is just a worse school, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well,
Yeah.
Goonhots did list Tassadar, who I think would be a really good pick as well.
for the wave clear.
Gives you
Tassadar.
solid wave clear. He has his shield, which can provide protection when when Stukov or Hanzo get dove. And once you hit 16, his poke is extremely good. He's
That's
one of
true.
the top pokers in the game when you hit 16.
All right. So there you go. There's the draft analysis this week for both matches.
You forgot
this
to
week.
mention the red team won.
Well, yeah. I mean, just assume that the French team will always win.
Well, you didn't say who
Yeah.
was on whose team, but
Oh, okay.
the red
Yeah, so
team won. The
The red team
with-
won.
Yeah.
Both teams with the last pick lost.
Yeah, I think this one wasn't about draft. This was just more about coordination. I think, to be honest.
It was a pretty close
Uh,
game.
It was.
I'd say it's about player skill.
Yeah.
And the balance being lopsided.
Well, I mean, the Zuni dominates his lane. That's not a thing. Like, Zuni owned top lane the entire game because he's
Well,
the best
actually,
player.
so what they did was they put,
Blaze up there.
yeah, who's Blaze? I forget, I forget who played Blaze, but we knew going in, like once we knew who was playing Blaze, like okay, we can force rotations out of them because Blaze is gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
question about the Medivh, was that a pocket pick or you did that in response to?
oh, so the Medivh came out when they went because we first picked Greymane and then they went Garrosh.
Stukov.
Garrosh Stukov, and then we insta-picked pretty much Medivh and ETC to counter the Garrosh and Stukov. And then because Grizzly's a really good Medivh player, so it wasn't very hard for us to say, okay, now it's time for Medivh, and we just did it to counter the Garrosh.
Well, the thing is too is that if your team is going to play with Medivh, your team has to be used to playing with Medivh. Let's say that.
Well, we did say during drafts is that all you have to do is walk through portals.
That is not as easy as it sounds, actually.
It worked out
pretty
for us.
pretty precise with the portal clicks.
Well, it worked, So I don't know. Worked out for us. And Goon, no, there was no Genji in these drafts. Okay, so all right, let's move on to the team fight analysis. So this was a game that we did about 2 weeks ago with the Win Timers. I think Old Backpack and Tower Baron and myself and 2 others were
No,
participating.
this was pretty much a scrim like game
Yeah.
before this Monday.
Yes.
I
This
played
was the,
shitty this time. This is bad. No. This is what I learned. This is level
Yeah.
2 Blaze.
This
is
was
bad.
a team fringe game versus a Tower Baron game, but it was a friendly scrim though.
Yeah, half the team, half the time.
Yeah. All right, so let's just play it, I guess. Oh, actually, so it's ETC on one. It's Infernal Shrines, ETC, Leoric, Junkrat, Greymane, and Malfurion, and the other team is who's dead on the red team? I can't read that.
Murden?
All right, so it's
But
Murden.
it's a bug.
Okay, so it's Murden, Stukov, Blaze, Kael'thas, and Ragnaros. So again, Murden, Stukov, Blaze, Kael'thas, and Ragnaros. So there you go.
16 level 16 verse 16. It's on Infernal Shrines, and the top shrine is active. And Old Backpack's team, the red team, is on the point already, and they already have 10 skulls out of the 40 required. And the blue team, which is Fringe's team, is moving up to engage them. And
Yeah.
it doesn't go too well.
The blue
So
team has a
Leoric-
fort to retreat to. The red team doesn't.
Yep. And Leoric is a little bit late to the fight, but it also kind of gives them time to clear the wave, and they go in. ETC does a stage dive, and Fringe, Malfurion walks up, silences both tanks, and they're able to kill Murden off of it before he pops Avatar. And yeah, the blue team backline is able to access the other team's backline and just kind of pop him out. Yeah, let's see the engage again. So right here. So let's start with the ETC stage dives in, right? And the tanks are right here, and we obviously see the Malfurion just walking up. You know what he's gonna do. It's Fringe Average playing Malfurion. It's a frontline. It's a frontline mouth. What's he gonna do? Well, he's gonna walk up. ETC goes in, and Fringe helps ETC by doing Twilight Dream, and Mirrodin dies without casting anything. He's not able to cast Avatar to stay alive, and that kind of feels bad. And that also allows Zunicorn on blue team's Leoric to just go up and hit Tower Baron, who's on the red team Stukov, just smack him down. And Tower Baron also gets hit by blue team Junkrat's Rip Tire and puts him to half health. So the team fight begins with the blue team able to engage exactly how they wanted. The red team was not prepared for it. And the backline suffered, the front line suffered.
Well, the question I have about this is that when ETC stage dives comes in, should the red team retreat all in the same direction, or should they just sort of stay in the stage dive so they don't get split up? Because I think that was the key to this fight, was that the stage dive comes in and he's able to split up the frontliners from the backliners, and then they could divide and conquer after that. What's the right, strategy here? Is to retreat up towards the top part of the objective area, or what?
All right, so number one, ETC's going in.
Yeah.
And EBS should realize the team fight's happening. I gotta pop Avatar. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
maybe you realize since ETC is already in, you disengage. You use your flaring swipe because we already see Zunicorn on your south flank, and ETC is going to be on your left flank, and you have a wall to your right, so you're pretty much trapped. And this is basically how they wanted to engage, and you guys just kind of flat out gave it to them, even though you should have expected it for, 10, 15 seconds ago. The tanks, honestly, should have been like around here to create a buffer zone, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
You got to
and
provide
when-
vision too.
Yeah.
You had no vision because nobody was in the vents, so it seemed like you
Yeah,
got
this
snuck
is-
up on.
This
Yeah.
is the state of the shrine when people are going up. So you guys have zero vision of this flank right here,
Yeah.
and where you should. So there should be. I mean, this is good right here since ETC and Murden are kind of scoring off. Old backpack, maybe you stand here because you still have AOE damage that you can shoot out towards this direction, and then you also block this flank, right? And that way, when they come in through here, you have a course of action so the team can kind of disengage. You already have 30 skulls. Let Ragnarus go to the fort and get his trade off. And
Yeah.
get an easy
Okay,
shrine
I
that
see.
way.
I see. So we should be positioned that way before the whole engage with
Yeah.
ETC's. Okay.
I mean, you're
Stage dive.
you're at 30 skulls. You see them on the minimap right next to you. What are you going to expect? Then to engage on you because you're forcing an action from them, right?
Yeah.
You are forcing
Yeah.
their hand. You should have expected them to do something. And the obvious thing is, well, ETC already has stage dive, and Leoric, his best weapon is he doesn't even have a whatchamacallit, tomb. So he's obviously a flank-based Leoric.
Yeah.
And you should have thought about the flank. So
All
this is all about blue team wanting to do what they wanted. I mean, doing what they wanted to do, and you guys just kind of giving it to them, even though you kind of forced them to take this course of action. You guys were not ready for it.
I see.
Yeah.
So
mean,
no,
Team
I
played
understand.
themselves.
Well, no, it
So-
looked like I knew it was a positioning error when the ETC's stage eyes came in, but I just didn't know because we had commentary about this exact team fight afterwards amongst the team, and the tanks kind of said, "Well, you should have kind of instead of retreating away from us, away from the center of the stage dive, you should have just came closer towards us so we could defend you instead of getting split up further."
You mean like,
Oh.
you mean for that perfect Junkrat rib tire to blow you all to smithereens?
That's what the comment was that we should have gone further into the tanks so the tanks could defend us and not get destroyed by the orc. So I was a little bit I wasn't fully I didn't really believe that, but then
No,
again
if you
like,
guys stick
UBS
together in this situation, right
Yeah.
here, and then you guys move forward over here. This is what they're saying, right? Move
Yeah.
left into the front line, right?
well yeah, we'll move I guess up and back behind them, I guess. If they're
Like here.
yeah. Yeah.
So
They said
you're,
come closer to yeah.
the back line should have moved up here.
Yeah.
Right.
Towards the tanks.
Yeah, Hero. Yeah, we said something similar to that earlier in the analysis, but yeah, you're definitely right. The tanks were not peeling for the shrine.
Yes.
Yep.
So Goon says in chat that the bunker needs to come out right away. He also says just wait for the ETC to land and then pop your CC-DPS on where he is. There's a huge circle that says ETC is landing here. 5 people around the blue
yeah.
circle.
I disagree with Hero's comment that there is no flank because Zunicorn accesses the flank. I mean, there is a
There
flank
is
that
this flank
Unicorn
that he's
clearly
able-
accesses. So there is.
Yeah, he
There's the flank right here
single-handedly
he's
controlled
accessing.
2 people.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
I'd say the tanks did not play their roles correctly.
Yeah.
I agree. That
I
Blaze is
mean, on
terrible.
top of not scouting, you got to recognize your strengths. The Blaze is going to be much better at protecting the back line, and the Muradin isn't nearly as good at peeling. He should be on the front line. I think he should have been, all up in that
Junkrat.
Malfurion's face when he started running headfirst in. And the Blaze, I think, should have maybe dove right into where the ETC landed and dropped the bunker.
Yeah, the flank is visible.
Yeah,
Ghost
but he
Bear
ran
says the
behind.
wave gives the vision, so the flank is visible, but the tanks are not in position to do anything about it. That's the problem that we're addressing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're able to, so this all just comes down to create a buffer zone. The tanks create a buffer zone, right? And then you guys retreat. Ragnaros pops his trait, and you guys kind of just poke in. You guys just kind of stand here and poke in to get the skeletons and win the thing.
Right. They had 30 skeletons. Ragnaros could
yes.
poke out the last 10.
Oh,
I
I
see
did
it.
not.
What the hell's that? The fuck is
Well,
that?
if you guys are standing here, right, and you access the right, access the shrine, and the skeletons are right over here.
Where are
Maybe one
where's all the
skeletons.
ammo you're shooting out there?
Oh yeah, the ammo, right?
That's the hair.
Oh my goodness.
Uh,
So
Always fun.
I guess again, the
Penis
takeaway.
formation.
Yep.
Set up penis formation.
yeah, pen
on
set up the
top.
penis.
Pen 15 formation,
The
guys.
Pen 15 formation on the top objective Vernal Shrines.
Honestly, it's pretty. This one's pretty simple. Just the tank should have been there, and that's it.
Yeah, so I remember during the game I was saying EBS be in the vent. He's like, really? Be in the vent? Like, oh shit. Yeah, I remember that. He was hitting skeletons right before this. I had to tell him to be there. And then
Good.
I
So
was
you
out
were
of position.
getting advice from a higher level player that's in platinum.
No. I told him to be in the vent.
Oh,
But
okay.
Since he wasn't, I had to be in the vent.
Oh, okay.
Granting vision is like at the top of the list for things tanks do.
Yeah.
The Blaze can help clear the shrine better than the ETC, but you don't need neither of them with a Ragnaros and a KT there.
Wait, everyone's forgetting this one big thing though. This is another
Twilight.
game in a row where the Twilight Dream wins a team fight. Or
I
Yeah,
knew,
yeah,
I knew you were
yeah.
gonna say that.
That's
I'll
not,
argue
the
the
Twilight
unit-
Dream didn't win the team fight.
Yeah.
It helped, but
It was really
as soon as Zunicorn isolated got the KT to retreat and was all over the Stukov, he single-handedly dealt with 2 of them. Like,
Yeah.
that's what won it, was the flank.
The red
Yep.
team being here, right? And then Fringe Average going over this way, and with Grizzly right over here, and ETC's landing right there. God damn it. This is just great engage by the blue team.
Ah,
10 out of 10.
penis formation.
Penis. You have the flying V, now you have the penis formation.
Please don't ban us, Twitch.
Yeah, please.
That was a legitimate formation.
What are you supposed to say? We're joking. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we're just this
Yeah.
is all a joke.
You mean that like a water pistol?
We're
That was a water
joking. It's
pistol.
not a penis.
Water pistol.
Yep, water pistol. We lost 3
Alright.
viewers because of that, but
Yeah, who
Nice.
gives a shit? Who gives a
really?
shit?
it's funny.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck them. All right, let's.
Fuck that.
they're never coming back anyway.
I seen it on the cake
They don't
for
care.
that Twitch.
All right,
police.
so we're gonna do an old segment that we haven't done in probably 7 months, but we're going to do a hero of the week. because we thought we had no time, or that we didn't have enough show. But it's been an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna do a deep dive on Hanzo, right? Or no? Or next week? Or listener questions?
Wait, we're talking Donzo now, right? That's the thing.
You can call him Gonzo. That's fine. But
I mean,
do you guys
it's-
want?
It's been a solid. We could just go to listener questions and save
Okay,
Hanzo
never
for
mind.
next
So,
week.
all right, forget what I said about the hero of the week. That's getting delayed again. All right, so we got some listener questions. So Leviathan asks, "What is the most important role on a team?" And what are the voice comms like in Silver and Gold? So I think there are no voice comms being used in Silver and Gold.
Yeah,
I've
RIP.
talked to I've
Let's
talked
talk
to
to our silver
Tower
player.
He actually plays Hero League.
Yeah, I've played Hero League in the first week or so when comms were out, first 2 weeks maybe. People kind of use them, but no one uses them anymore. They'll go into the party chat, but then never say anything the whole time. And people, even if they're in party chat, they're still typing stuff out, which is weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, and also the biggest thing, Leviathan, is picking your talents, because I think you didn't pick talents as Lucio in that game in the Bush League. I think that was you.
Oh, he pulled a
Right?
Tower Baron.
Yeah, he pulled the Tower Baron
Ah,
because like
nice.
No
it was like
talents.
level 13 and he picked all 4 in a row or something like that. Like he didn't pick talents.
4 in a row. That's not
No,
Tower
no.
Baron, but that's
3?
that's-
No, it was two
That's BS.
talents.
2 talents, fine.
Yeah.
You went 5 minutes without picking 2 talents. But so that's the biggest thing, is making sure you pick talents, Leviathan. But
Mhm, mhm.
so the most important role on a team, it all depends on the level of play. If it's probably plat or lower, it's your assassins. If it's higher level, I don't know.
It's your tank and your hyper carry are the top 2 important roles, I'd say. And also
If
tank
your
in general.
If your hyper carry sucks, like the tank can put you in a situation where the hyper carry can thrive, but if the hyper carry sucks, then it doesn't really matter, and the support is also there to make the hyper carry look good. And if the hyper carry can't make plays, then why the fuck am I gonna de-shield you for?
I think in general, think of it this way. The way I think of it is, again, this, it's not, can't be applied to every single situation, but in general, think of it as like a chain of events, right? Like the tank has to set up the kills, and the assassins have to finish the kills, right? And the support is there to help if there's any mistakes or life-saving situations, then that's where the support comes in. So I think if you have a bad tank, then it's hard for the DPS to do anything. So I would agree that probably your main tank and your carry DPS are the two most important. And then also your garbage man character is very important. Probably like the third most important, because he has to soak the 2 lanes essentially, on a 3-lane map and
Oh,
get the
you're talking
XP.
about solo laner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's
well,
that
like
a garbage man?
yeah,
well,
trash
like if
man.
you're like Leoric on the Tomb, not Tomb, but Towers of Doom, then that character he has a very, very nuanced role where you have to soak XP in both lanes a lot of times, while there's the 4-man is in the bot lane.
I mean, it is pretty important. He also has to do that job without dying and
Mhm.
watching the minimap
Yeah.
constantly to make sure he's in the correct position.
Yeah.
And he also
I'd
has
argue
to know when to abandon that role and actually join the 4-man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest role to play in the solo lane, because you have a huge amount of responsibility, don't you think?
Mhm.
I think a hyper carry, because he's the closer. He's the guy who actually wins the game.
Yeah. The
But
Genji, the Tracer.
tank is a close second, because there is a very fine line between peeling and diving and just dying in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Mm.
And you're like, oh, I guess my team wasn't following me. Sorry, guys, I'm dead. There's a lot of shitty tanks do that.
I totally think the tank is the most important because they're the fight initiators. The tank leads you into a bad fight, or there is no tank, like you're playing quick match and there's say 5 assassins and the other team has a tank and you just have some fake tank, like a Twin Blades variant or something, then you're going to get destroyed, I think. I think tank is the most important because they initiate the fight for all the other team and when to go in. Yep.
Can we all agree that coaches, specifically Canadian coaches, are the least important role in a team?
Yes, we all agree.
Fucking
Especially
garbage.
Canadian coach.
Waste of air, man.
Depends on how much they troll.
Yeah.
How much Crobius they play.
How much Cho'Gall they play.
I do like an upbeat attitude when we're losing and told we're doing a good job. That always goes and turns my crown upside down.
All right, so True Mr. Fu asks, last year was the year of the support. This year seems like it is the year of the soul laner. I don't think that. But what heroes do you think will be reworked to fit the more soul laning criteria? AKA Phoenix still OP? What the fuck? Do you guys think that it's the year of the soul laner? I don't think so.
They're
I
important.
think it's either that or double tank.
Mm-hmm. This is the old-fashioned double tank meta.
Yeah, I mean the
Yeah,
solo laner is usually the second tank too.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty freaking defined now that in most games there will always be a solo lane. And if he dies, then your entire game plan goes to shit. So
even when we had double support, we still had sort of like a soul laner. We had 2 support, 1 DPS, and 2 tanks. What's the difference? I mean, I don't understand. Like, I'm a
Well,
little confused.
supports don't have wave clear now, so the solo laner, the wave clear that they provide is more important, particularly on top of wave clearing their own lane. A lot of times they're soaking 2 lanes.
I think that he thinks this because Sonya and Mateo were so good for the majority of the calendar year. And
That's
Blaze.
true.
So
Yeah.
Althel has dropped off in popularity.
yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
he's
Like,
still a solo laner, though.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you had Blaze who's a really good soul laner. You have Sonya who was really good, and then you had Mateo who was up and down, but he was a really good soul laner as well.
lot of the-
Maybe that's
I
why.
mean, I would agree. A lot of the reworks tend to give the heroes more solo laning capabilities. Like Tyrael was like at times a solo laner before the rework, and now he's also a viable one too.
He's barely viable though. Like
I mean,
he's
can,
okay.
He can do it.
Yeah, he can do it. Yeah, he can do it, but
Yeah,
he's not gonna win
and
it.
More tanks than ever now can also like kind of solo lane. Arthas can do it a little bit. Blaze is amazing at it. Sonya is obviously still good. It's also pretty rare that now we have a ranged assassin that can actually solo lane in Phoenix.
Junkrat's good at solo laning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
And he was this year? Or was he last year?
I
last
think
year.
he got released
Last
last year.
Late
Yeah.
last
No, remember
year?
like for H.
Yeah,
for
because he
BlizzCon-
was
for BlizzCon.
playable during he was in the
BlizzCon,
Gold Club in China in December. He didn't do well in that tournament, but he was played in that tournament.
Mhm.
I think he came out right around BlizzCon shortly after.
Yeah, there was a thing where there was like a big patch where Murden got supremely buffed, and then like that was the patch when Junkrat was released, and then there's the
Oh yeah.
so
And-
HGC said there's no the patch hits, but there's no Junkrat. That was the
no, they said, "Oh, Junkrat's gonna be in," and then like a week later, they said Junkrat's not gonna
Yeah,
be in.
yeah,
But they changed their mind, and some
Oh,
pros
yeah.
were kind of butthurt about that.
Like, we practice with Junkrat, now we can't use him. Shut the fuck up.
yeah.
You get paid to play the game. Shut up.
Why more?
But
But then again, here I'm going, Masters is not good as it once was. Boo-hoo.
yeah.
There I go in my own little fucking high horse. Salt mound.
All right. So lastly, so in terms of reworks, I have no idea. They've mentioned Lunara.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
mean, True Mr. Fu brought up Raynor. I think, like, in
Yeah.
theory, Raynor should be good at solo laning because he has self-sustain. He has pretty good wave clear. I mean, in theory. He could also buff the minions near him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on paper, on paper he's a good fucking solo laner, but he's dog
Yeah.
shit. So
Well,
You got zero
Rainier,
mobility.
yeah,
Yeah,
Rainier
well,
fulfills like a niche for new people. That's fine. Like, who cares about Rainier? He fulfills that niche.
But look
let
at
him have that
Lily. Lily fulfills that niche for support, but she's still pretty viable.
That's
Well,
true.
she got
she's-
reworked, though.
she's yeah, but she's even a master. She's one of the top supports right now. She is the
Mhm.
top support actually,
Jeez.
which is surprising, even higher than Stukov and shit.
Hey, I mentioned that like 4 weeks ago about Lily, so this is not new to me. I already called that.
All right.
Okay, that's self-indulgent.
Yeah, this is the Fringe self-indulgence episode.
Yeah.
I've been gone for
Ah.
a week, so I feel
Well,
good.
actually,
The audio's gonna
Malfurion
sound
is
good.
top support, but Lily's a close second. But yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm.
surprising.
Alright.
Brightwing's third. That's interesting.
Brightwing. I thought she fell off or something.
What's the play rate? Like 10%?
20.
Okay. Is it like only on Hanamura? You get it? Because Hanamura doesn't exist.
Uh,
All right, but
Oh,
anyway,
PAX East
Yes.
is tomorrow, the 5th. We're recording
Oh,
this
yeah,
on
New
the
Hero.
4th.
new heroes,
gonna-
heroes, plural.
Well,
Yep.
one. Yeah. Well. All right. So let's do the. So Tower Brand wanted to discuss the new brawl that's currently in effect.
yeah,
Oh,
it was.
we don't wanna discuss PAX East real quick.
What is PAX East?
It's the convention, and Blizzard's gonna be there to do a panel and announce the new heroes and content updates.
one hero,
That is-
right?
That is literally in 12 hours.
Oh,
9:30 or something tomorrow.
so you,
Yeah.
you want to
This is-
speculate what it's going to be?
I mean, it's hard to speculate with you guys because you have almost zero knowledge, in terms of-
Yeah.
especially you.
Oh, we
Matt,
know it's good.
in-
we know
in
it's gonna be
terms of
StarCraft.
Blizzard lore.
It's gonna be a
We should
StarCraft.
we should bring back Bahamut. He knows everything about that stuff.
People have been
It-
saying Decker Kane
it-
because they specifically decide. They said the hero is wacky. What the fuck does
Desert
that mean?
Jane.
Oh, he's gonna go in. One of his abilities is gonna be like sleep, where he tells stories, and the people just
Oh,
around him
Stay
fall
out,
asleep.
stay out and listen.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Uh,
Let's
his
let's do this.
ultimate's gonna be
One
portaling
of the
back
worst.
to the
people are-
core.
It's gonna be shit, dog shit if Decker Kane's in the game. dude.
It's gonna be
This-
awesome. It's gonna be so trolly.
This
Yeah.
is the worst timeline. God damn it!
All right,
I hate this.
let's do this very quickly. Let's just choose the class of hero, like assassin, tank, support.
Specialist.
I think it's going to be a support.
Specialist.
or multi-class. Another
Are they still
multi-class.
making
Wacky, right?
specialists?
Wacky.
Class.
Multi-class wacky.
yeah.
There
think-
hasn't been a specialist out since what, Probius? I think they kind of stopped making them.
Yeah.
Although if it's
Yeah.
Well,
wacky, it probably
Junkrat
will
is
be,
kind of
right?
Junkrat can kind of be specialist a little bit.
Yeah.
He can.
Yeah.
But he's better than
Um,
that.
People have been also speculating that Hanamura is gonna make a return, and
Uh,
from the hints
I
they've told us
hope
that
not.
they changed it so it's 3 lanes, and that the core is directly killable.
Yeah. Well,
instead
also
of
the
the
payload's
point
at the
system.
center.
Yeah.
Yeah, payload's at the center, and as you hold the cap, it moves towards your direction or the other direction. It's similar to the Illidan map with the where you fight for Illidan's cage. Remember that one from World of Warcraft? Anyone? Remember Illidan's trapped in a cage, and you have the Nada. You have to you fight in one lane and try to get him back to your side.
I don't remember that
It's
mission.
been a while.
Never mind.
But there's only one
Warcraft 3.
one objective, I believe.
yes,
there's
one
not
objective.
Multiple payloads spawning at once.
Yep.
I mean, it would be interesting if they like the one payload idea sounds cool, but it always ends up being whoever wins the team fight basically gets the objective the entire duration
Yeah.
because the spawn rates are so long, especially towards the mid late game. What if they adjusted the spawn rate so it's like 20-second respawn time throughout the entire game, or something dumb like that? That would be interesting, like just a constant brawl in the middle of the map to get the objective. That'd
You
be-
mean
that might
ARAM?
be
It's like ARAM.
just like ARAM.
Yeah, give it one lane with no merc camps.
Yeah.
Even ARAM, that last one had merc camps.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, let's do the let's
I
do
think-
the brawl. Go ahead, Tyburn.
Yeah, was anyone else disappointed in it? I thought it was sort of hyped up to go along with the StarCraft 20th anniversary or whatever, and it was kind of a letdown. I was expecting sort of like a Protoss Last Stand type of brawl, but actually it's pretty easy. I think it would have been better if they just kept having the Zerg come at you and you just go for time and see how long your team can last before the core goes down.
Well,
It's a little bit too easy.
This is the normal version,
Mhm.
and they probably like last time they did something like this. They'll have the heroic version.
Yeah, they better, because I was a little bit disappointed because it was like, oh, I just feel like I played like one of the first missions on StarCraft, and it wasn't that difficult at all. You know what I mean? One of those trainer
Entry-level
missions,
mission on,
entry level mission. Yeah,
on medium.
It's like,
Not
dear
even-
Rainer,
yeah.
let the talent. No,
That's
there you
right.
go.
now right click over
This
here.
is Rainer's like riding around. This is a single Zergling. Right click on the Zergling to kill it. Like, ah, shit. This is
I had such high hopes for it because
Yeah.
and it turned out to be kind of really easy. And then because they give you all that time too in the beginning to select your comp, I'm like, oh shit, we have to synergize our comp. We've got 2 minutes to pick, and then it's like you could have just picked anyone with self-sustain, and you would have been okay.
But
you
if
have
you
more
think
of a-
back, if you think back to where they did Escape from Braxis, I did
Yeah.
like what 15-ish games, and then I only failed once. That was the normal version. But in the heroic version, I tried 15 times and maybe succeeded 1 time. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's the same scale for this brawl, then you might want to hold your tongue before you try the heroic
But I
version.
think it should just be never ending in terms of the onslaught of the Zerg, and it just gets more difficult as it goes on. And then you just play which team has the longest time they can hold off the Zerg, and that would have been way cooler.
Maybe they
That
do
takes
that
way
for the
too long.
leaderboards on the heroic version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
longest
would
time,
like that.
most minions killed, something like that.
Yeah, it would have made it a lot more fun, and had a higher replay value. 'Cause I played it once, like I don't want to play this again. I mean, it's just like just play it through just to get the chest. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. I'll stop venting. It's been a rough week in the Nexus.
Well, that's our show.
That's our show. Cool.
I guess. Yeah, I'm out. I guess I don't know. I'm out of ideas, so
I mean, it's already hour 40. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's
We're done here.
Wrap it up.
let's go to
Wrap it up,
Tyburn.
Bree.
That's our show, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
All right.
Yeah, everyone blow ASAP. Now go. Jesus Christ.
Last one was so much better.
That's the outro. That's the outro. That's the outro. We're good.
the miss on this station.